Be seated. State your name first and last, and spell, please.
Christee Clenney, CHRISTEE CLE. Yes, sir.
Okay.
CLENNEY.
Sound like there's a lot of E's in there.
Yes.
Christee with 2 E's.
Yes.
I'd written down how these read.
I knew it's a.
It's happened a lot.
What do you do for a living, Miss Clenney?
I'm a RTI and testing coordinator.
What's that mean?
Well, I've been in the school system teaching for 20 years now. I help with response intervention and the testing and data, along with some other jobs.
What schools have you taught?
Parsons Elementary School, and I was the Learning House pre-K. I was a pre-K teacher for 10 years, and now I'm at Decatur.
April of 2011. Where were you living?
I was living on Myracle Town Road in Darden.
Myracle Town Road?
Yes.
And it's in Darden.
Yes.
A few miles from Parsons.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the street Swan Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Does Myracle Town run into it?
Yes.
All in the same little neighborhood?
Yes.
Are the roads big and wide, or are they small?
We're narrow.
Are the roads frequent traffic all the time, or not?
No, not a whole lot.
Something notable or strange happened to you one morning.
Yes.
All right, tell us what you were doing.
Okay, I'd been recovering from neck surgery, so I was out of work for 6 weeks, and I've been walking every morning, somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30 every morning. And so, after a few weeks, one morning, I was walking, and I would always walk to Swan Johnson Road, and back. Yes, I would walk on Myracle Town Road to Swan Johnson Road, and I would stop there and go back to my house. And I would usually do that about 3 times, because that was about 3 miles. And that was part of my rehabilitation for the neck, is what he wanted me to do. And so one morning I walked to Swan Johnson. I was on my way back, and I just heard a loud truck. And so I turned around, and there was one idling on Swan Johnson Road. And I heard it.
At this point, is that anything particularly strange?
Well, I mean, I wasn't alarmed at that moment. I mean, I just turned around. I mean, I heard it is why I turned around. And, I like to get out of the road completely when cars are coming up and down. So I was just kind of looking backwards. And then it sat there for a few seconds. And that was kind of weird to me, because I continued to hear it. And then
where was it physically?
It was physically like at the very end of Swan Johnson Road, where the stop sign was.
And do you know the Bobos? Do you know Karen and Dana Bobo at all?
Yes.
Do you know where they live?
Yes.
How far away from their house?
I mean, it's probably, I'm not sure, but it might be a half to 3/4 of a mile from that stop sign.
Less than a mile.
Yes. I never did continue. I never walked down that road all the way. I would just walk to the edge of it. But I know that they live just not very far down that road.
Okay, so your health walk, rehabilitation walk, was from your house up Myracle Town until it hit Swan Johnson.
Right.
And the Bobos live a little bit up Swan Johnson.
Yes.
All right. The car's idling there. What kind of truck did you say?
It was a white. I didn't, register what kind. It was a full-size white truck.
Okay. Pickup truck or like an SUV?
A pickup truck.
Pickup truck. Okay. What happened?
And so then it turned right. It was going really slow. And I just, kept walking straight ahead. And then I heard it turn around. I knew where they turned around at. It's probably at Lots Road is what I was figuring. But I could hear it. It was loud enough that I could hear it turn around. And I thought, oh, that truck's coming back. And I still wasn't real alarmed, but I thought it was weird, because it had idled by so slow. And I had a hoodie on. And then it came really slow back. And I just kind of kept my head straight and walking. And
Were you alarmed at all?
I was a little bit thinking, what are they doing? Because I'm used to seeing the same vehicles at that time. People are going to work, or there's the same people that you usually see coming back. It's not, you don't see a whole lot of new vehicles, and people don't just kind of cruise around that early in the morning, especially somebody a young man or something.
You
So
don't have tourists driving up and down Myracle Town Road.
No,
Swan
no.
Johnson.
no, it's not a happy place.
So this truck's coming back at you.
Right. And so then I am starting to, think this is kind of weird. But then when I heard it turn around again at Swan Johnson Road, I really did start thinking, okay, now what should I do?
I heard this thing idling there at Myracle Town and Swan Johnson. You had heard it turn around at what you're guessing is Box Road.
I was guessing that that's where you turn, because there's not many turnaround places that's narrow, and there's
And then
not.
you've heard it turn around again.
Yes.
How about now? You're starting to wonder.
Yes, I was getting really alarmed, and I was even thinking about would I go out to the woods? What would I do? I mean, I was actually thinking about what would I do if something happens.
So
Yes. I had a red hoodie on. I remember exactly what happened.
sorry, what happened next?
And then he drove really slow, and he actually looked over and he was looking like out his window to talk to me, and he said, "Did I scare you?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good." And then he said, "Well, I didn't mean to scare you." And he said, "I thought you was a girl that I knew that lives around here." And he said her name. And then I was just like, "No, I don't know her," or I don't know. And then he kind of laughed, and he's like, "Well, did I scare you?" And he said, "Well, I didn't mean to scare you." He kind of laughed or chuckled, and then he went on after that.
As a result of that, what did you do?
I texted my husband at the time and told him that something really weird just happened with a white truck. And then he called me whenever he got a chance. And I told him the story of it. I just said it wasn't your normal little, "Hey, I thought you were somebody else." And so he got me some mace that day to start taking. And my dad actually had brought me a gun he had, but then he also bought me one that he thought would be better to take.
Did you make it home safe?
Yes.
Kidnapped on Swan Johnson, April 13th, 2011. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Would you have been walking on a weekday or a weekend?
I always did on the weekdays for sure, and I did a lot of weekends also. But I would plan to walk after everybody left for school or was out the door, and I thought most of the traffic to school was gone. So.
How long before was this compared to when Holly was taken?
It was days before. I don't know. I've said it's been anywhere between 7 to 10 or 12 days. It was within that time period.
So you're certain it wasn't the day before?
Oh no, it wasn't. It was not.
It was a week.
I'm thinking it was past a week. I'm not positive now on the exact days because really, I just didn't think about trying to remember what day it was. I just, wish I would have.
So when did this strange incident, when did it sort of come to light afterwards?
Well, when I heard about that, and I had told my coworkers about the white truck also at the pre-K. While I was working in pre-K, and they had mentioned, a couple of them was like, "What about that white truck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. There could be a connection." And so because we just heard about it that day, but still that was like it had just come out like she's missing, and I think a lot of people were still thinking, well, she's going to be found, really quick is what we were all praying for. And then when we got home, my husband and I, we had talked about it. And that morning there was a roadblock at the end of the road the next morning. And he had mentioned to the police officers or whoever was there at the end of the road about the white truck. And so they had, whenever I got up there, I told them about it also.
So after Holly was taken, a day, 2 days,
we talked about that day, but it was whatever day the roadblock was, which I'm not positive exactly what.
After she was taken, there were roadblocks at various places.
Yes.
And so you got to this roadblock, and did you tell the policeman or whoever about this?
Yes.
All right. What did he tell you to do?
He said they'd be contacting me.
Your information.
Yes.
Was your ex-husband now?
Yes.
Was your husband with you then?
He was in the truck in front of me, so he wasn't with me when I gave that information. No,
Y'all were driving.
separately, yes, because
Separately.
he was going to a different place that I went, different school.
Gotcha. Did the investigators get in contact with you?
Yes.
And what happened once they got in contact with you?
Well, that day, I'm almost positive it was that day, but I'm not 100% sure because they brought pictures to the pre-K and asked me to come out and look at them. And I think it was the TBI that came.
And did you see the man from the truck in those pictures they brought?
No.
What happened next?
And they said that they'd be contacting me about coming to the police station to look at more pictures of maybe out of the inmate lineups or whatever.
Did you go to the police station and look at different pictures?
Yes, and I had my husband at the time meet me there, and he went with me.
Okay, so you and your husband.
Yes,
Did y'all meet with police officers there?
yes.
And you said you looked at different pictures. Did you recognize him?
No, I didn't know who anybody was.
You didn't know who anybody was.
Right.
Did you, were there any pictures that caught your attention? How about that?
Yes, I pointed to one that I thought looked like the guy that was in the truck.
Okay. And did you look through a series of pictures even after you thought that was the guy?
Yes.
And describe how you kept on coming back to that one picture.
Well, I was looking through it and I'm like, yeah, he looks like this. And then I said, I continue to look, and there was other ones that had that kind of look or the same color hair. And I was going, yeah, these have that look too. But then I said, going back to the front, that one was the one that I thought looked mostly like him.
And who was that person?
Well, and I wouldn't have known it, but my husband was there with me, and he said,
You can't say what her husband.
okay.
At this point, maybe approach her on.
You said your husband recognized the guy.
Yes, sir.
He was there with you, sat next to you.
Yes.
There's his name.
My husband's name? Timothy Clenney.
Timothy
Mhm.
Clenney. That's the truth.
So your husband is Tim Clenney,
Yes.
is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
My ex-husband, yes.
Sorry, yes. Now, you gave this report, the roadblock. If there's a report that says that this was on April the 19th, 2011, when you gave this information at a roadblock, does that seem right to you?
Ma'am, I have no idea, but I'm not
5
sure exactly how many days.
5 or 6 days after Holly disappeared?
I'm not sure.
Within a week of the time she disappeared?
I would think so, but I just don't have any idea exact how many days, what day that was on.
Okay, so your memory's kind of faded since then.
Yes.
Okay. And at the time, you said that the person was driving a full-size white pickup truck. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. At one point, you said it was a nicer model pickup truck. Do you remember
I
saying
don't
that?
remember. I don't remember exactly what all I said, to be honest with you on that. I don't remember what I
Okay.
said on that.
Do you remember now that it was a nicer full-size pickup truck?
I just remember it being a white full-size pickup truck. Yes.
Okay. You remember saying that the man you saw weighed between 180 and 190 pounds?
I just don't remember.
You don't have a memory now of how much that person weighed, do you?
No, I have a look of what they look like, but I don't remember a weight.
Right. But the look that you have now, what this person looked like, is after you've looked at lots and lots of photographs. Would you agree with me?
Are you talking about at the time?
No,
Now.
the look you have in your memory now is after you have looked at photographs. Clearly, your memory now is after you've looked at photographs.
Yeah.
Yes. And you've thought about it a lot in your head. You've had a lot of thinking about it, what was trying to remember.
Yes.
Do you remember saying that it had happened 2 to 3 weeks before the day of the roadblock?
No, I don't remember exactly what I said on the time.
Okay. If it would have happened 2 weeks before the roadblock, and the roadblock, if it happened 2 weeks, you said, tell me again what you said earlier about how close in time it was to when Holly disappeared.
It was several days. I don't know exactly. I'm estimating So this is not a fact, but I would think it would have been anywhere between a week to 2 week period of time. You know, I mean, I have averaged it was like 10 or 12 days. You know, but I didn't know for a fact.
Okay. But if the report said the 19th, that's probably right, because there would be no reason for them. You didn't report this more than once to the roadblock, right?
Correct.
So if there's a report that says it's on the 19th is when you gave this information at the roadblock, that would most likely be correct.
I would think whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disputing.
Right. Okay. So you're not disputing that.
No.
Okay. And if at the time you said that this incident with the white pickup truck had occurred 2 to 3 weeks earlier, your memory then was certainly better than your memory is now.
I mean, I would think it would be too.
Right. So that was probably accurate information from you at the time, 2 to 3 weeks earlier.
I can't imagine me saying 3 weeks, but I don't, you know, I can't imagine me saying 3 weeks earlier. Because that would have been way past what I would think that it would have been.
Do you remember?
I don't ever remember saying 3 weeks, as a matter of
You
fact.
don't? Okay. Do you remember saying that the person was in their early to mid 20s?
Yes.
And do you remember saying light brown hair?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes.
Brown hair. Yes.
Well, do you remember saying light brown hair?
I don't remember saying, like, specifying light brown hair, but I remember saying that there was brown hair. Yes.
Okay. Do you know Lori Kennemore?
No,
No.
don't.
No further questions.
All right, you can step down. You're free to go.